Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Great Plains Lutheran High School. Welcome to this showing of Murder on the 518. Your job tonight is to figure out who done it, and there's a prize for whoever figures it out first. You get a pat on the back from the person sitting next to you. So I hope it goes well. Just a couple of reminders. I'm sure you don't need them, but cell phones, if you could silence those, stow those, that would be great. There will be an intermission, so there's a restroom break as we get into the show, and then you can go from there. I don't have anything else for you, so thanks again for coming. We appreciate having you here. Enjoy the show.
All aboard, West Coast 518 bound for Los Angeles is now boarding on platform 2. All aboard, West Coast 518.
I can't believe this day has finally arrived. The day I get to go to Los Angeles with the love of my life on our honeymoon. Can you believe we've been married for 3 whole weeks, Caleb?
It feels like only yesterday that my beautiful bride became my beautiful wife. I can't wait to spend the next 10 days exploring Los Angeles with you, Rachel.
Walking along the beaches,
Visiting all the museums,
going on all the rides at Disneyland.
seeing all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm so excited.
I've been looking forward to this every minute of every day since our wedding. And I don't want anything to spoil our wonderful honeymoon together.
Well, we better get our tickets. We don't want to miss the train.
Elliot entered the train station. The platform was brightly lit against the dimming light of the waning day. People were hustling and bustling to and fro to their destinations. Elliot approached the ticket counter, eager to begin his own journey.
May I help you, sir?
As Elliot approached the ticket counter, the young ticket seller asked, "May I help you, sir?" Elliot replied, "Why, yes, thank you. May I please have one ticket to Los Angeles?"
Sir, are you saying you would like to purchase one ticket to Los Angeles?
Elliot sighed in frustration at the ticket seller, who didn't seem to understand his simple request to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. It was imperative that Elliot make it to Los Angeles the next day to meet with his publisher and present his latest collection of short stories.
Sir, are you saying you would like to purchase one ticket to Los Angeles?
Yes! Yes, I just said that!
I wasn't sure if you're talking to me or your notepad.
As a writer, I need to be constantly aware of my surroundings and record every detail so that it can be incorporated into my work. Even everyday interactions and conversations can find their place in the written world.
I see. Well, here's your ticket. Enjoy your trip to Los Angeles, sir.
With a ticket finally in hand, Elliot made his way to the boarding platform as the warm evening winds flowed about.
How can I help you, sir?
One for Los Angeles, please.
Yes, sir. And will you be keeping your sports equipment with you, or would you like to check that bag?
My equipment goes where I go. You never know when an opportunity to use it might arise. Need to be prepared.
I don't think you'll have the opportunity to play basketball on the train, sir.
I didn't become Mike Unbar, top sports recruiter in the Western Conference, with that type of attitude.
Excuse me, but I think that the pursuit of knowledge should be held in more esteem than basketball championships, especially at a university. I hope the students you recruit understand the value of receiving an education and do not spend the entirety of their college experience in a gymnasium seeking the approval of mindless sports fans.
How dare you talk about sports that way? Sports provide teamwork, critical thinking, physical fitness, and so much more. Just who do you think you are?
Professor Holly Barnes, University of Utah, departments of physics and astronomy. While you spend your time recruiting people to run around a basketball court in circles, I spend my time researching the night sky.
Isn't it a little bright in Los Angeles to be researching the night sky?
For your information, I'm going to the city to give a presentation on the Perseids at the Griffith Observatory. The meteor shower was particularly spectacular this August due to the waxing crescent moon.
And you think I'm the crazy one? You're the one speaking gibberish, nerd!
Neanderthal!
Next 2 customers, please.
Good evening. One for Los Angeles, please.
You're going to Los Angeles? One for Los Angeles, please. Hi, I'm Abby Wells.
Dr. Lauren Maloney, it's nice to meet you.
You're a doctor? I'm studying medicine too. Well, veterinary medicine. I'm going to Los Angeles to get experience as an aquatic vet tech. It's a little hard to study marine life in Utah. I bet you could teach me so much.
Well, that's nice of you to say, but I'm an emergency room physician, not a veterinarian, so I don't know how much help I'll be to your marine studies.
But so much of medicine can be applied across disciplines. I read that here in my Introduction to Marine Life study book. I think they were talking about animal studies, but humans are mammals, right?
Look, I do love my job, but everyone needs a little time off, wouldn't you agree? I'm spending my time off visiting some family in Los Angeles, and truly work is the last thing I want to think about while I'm there. It's nice to meet you, though.
Next 2 customers, please.
Hey there, friend. One for the city of flowers and sunshine.
Where, sir?
City of angels, the big orange, La La Land.
He means Los Angeles. And can you please stop that tapping? I'm trying to read the same paragraph over and over again, but you seem intent. I can't concentrate with all that racket. I also need 1 ticket for Los Angeles.
Come on, my newspaper reading friend. Why so serious? What is it that's taking you to the coast?
I am not your friend. I'm Owen Casey, private investigator. I was actually just reading this article about bank fraud, but you seem intent on stopping that from happening. And of course, we're on the same train.
Private investigator, huh? That sounds exciting. Music can be exciting too. Probably in a different way.
Definitely in a different way. And since you're probably going to tell me anyways, what takes you to the coast? Peace and love?
I'm off to become a musical sensation, my friend. This guitar is my ticket to the good life. It won't be long before you see the name Nelson Henry in your newspaper there, friend.
I'm not your friend. And can you please stop that racket?
Next customer, please.
It just doesn't make any sense, Jennifer. You can't base the success of the restaurant off the desserts alone. It's not a bakery and it's not a cafe. It's a restaurant. The main entrees are going to be the feature.
You aren't even listening to me, Derek. That isn't what I said at all. The restaurant won't survive if we bill it as just another seafood place in Los Angeles. We have to have that flair that draws people in. And that flair will be found in my desserts.
Uh-huh. Spoken like a true pastry chef, making yourself the center of attention, while I am the executive chef. And the owners told me that I could take the restaurant in any direction I wanted when they hired us to be the new chef team.
Exactly. New chef team, as in the both of us, not the Chef Derek show.
Excuse me, but would you like to purchase tickets? We need to keep the line moving forward, please.
Sorry for the holdup. My husband here seems to think he's the center of attention both in and out of the kitchen. 2 for Los Angeles, please.
Jennifer, if we're ever going to get this restaurant off the ground, you might want to realize that I deserve to be the center of attention in the kitchen.
Are you serious? What part about the word team seems to be confusing to you?
Next 2 customers, please.
This place is just disgusting. Just look around. It's too hot. And that train is making smoke. And is that sand I see blowing around the floor? This is not a place that I should be expected to set foot in.
Isabella, we've been over this. We have to take the train to Los Angeles as part of your next movie, Sunset on the Rails. West Coast Railways is the company providing the trains for the film, and they said they won't have their name appear in the movie unless you are actually seen riding one of their passenger cars. It's in your contract.
Well, Lucy, I have no idea why you agreed to that. You're supposed to look out for my interests, and this is not something a movie star would be interested in.
I'm your assistant, Isabella, not your agent. He's the one who agreed to this. Besides, I'm sure it won't be as bad as you're making it out to be.
Excuse me, miss, but those women were in line before you. Could you please step to the side?
Do you know who I am? I am Isabella Madison, star of the movie One More Day, which is the top grossing film in Iceland, Greenland, and Norway. I do not step aside, and I certainly do not wait in lines for people. People wait in lines for me.
That's ridiculous. Just because you're a movie star doesn't mean you can just cut in front of people in line.
It's fine. Take care of them. We'll be there in a minute. Don't worry about it, Jillian.
She can't just get her own way because she made some foreign film that no one's ever even heard of. You deserve more respect than she does, Miss Millen. She should wait behind you. You're the CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, Jillian, and you are my assistant. And as the CEO, I'm telling you not to worry about it.
And that is final. I don't care if the only sleeper cars you have left house 2 people. I demand my own. And when is dinner? I am simply famished by this whole ordeal.
Dinner will be served tonight at 7 o'clock in the dining car, and breakfast will be served tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
The food on this train had better be prepared by competent chefs. The last thing I need on this venture is substandard cuisine. And I had best have my own table in the dining car. I absolutely will not have my meals disturbed by whatever other nonsensical people were on this ridiculous train trip.
Thank you for your patience. Sorry for the inconvenience. Where are you headed?
No problem. It wasn't your fault. 2 tickets for Los Angeles, please.
Certainly. And would you like to check any of your bags?
No, thank you. We need to head straight to a meeting with Sunset Pharmaceuticals as soon as the train arrives, and I don't want to have to wait for my baggage to be unloaded.
I still don't understand why we couldn't have just flown there, Miss Millen. We could have arrived tonight and had plenty of time to prepare for your presentation. Or should I say, prepare for your takeover. This will be the 3rd company that Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals has acquired this year.
Well, you know I can't take our pharmaceutical samples on a plane. I always worry that the change in air pressure will ruin them, and then the presentation will fall flat. This is a big acquisition for us, and we can't have anything go wrong.
Of course, Miss Millen. You're right, as always.
All aboard, West Coast 518, bound for Los Angeles. Final boarding call. Departure in 5 minutes. All aboard, West Coast 518.
I need 1 ticket to the 518, please.
The train to Los Angeles, sir?
It doesn't really matter where it's going. All that matters is that Isabella Madison's on it, and that means I have to be on it too.
Forgive me, sir, but why must you be on the same train with her?
Because I'm Sydney Bennett, paparazzo extraordinaire. I heard she had to ride a train for her latest movie contract, so I followed her here, to Salt Lake City. I've been waiting in the station for 2 whole days.
We're well aware.
And my patience has finally paid off because I've watched every single person come through here, and not a single one is on assignment. Photos of Isabella Madison's little temper tantrum, they're going to skyrocket me to the top.
All aboard, West Coast 518 to Los Angeles is now departing.
to grab this real quick.
The dining car could best be described as quaint. The 4 tables, each adorned in their modest drapery, stood anxiously awaiting the arrival of their occupants, eager to fulfill their purpose. The 3 staff members moved about, excitedly seeing to their activities.
Good evening, sir. The dining car is assigned seating. May I see your ticket, please?
Elliot was startled by the arrival of the steward. He did not know he would need to bring his ticket to dinner with him, and was frightfully unprepared for the conversational exchange.
Sir, if you could just please tell me your sleeping cabin number, I can tell you where you are to be seated. We posted a list by the entrance, but you arrived beforehand.
I like to be the first to arrive in group settings. It gives me the opportunity to make as many observations as possible for my short stories. I'm Elliot Williams, writer, sleeping cabin 14.
Ah, yes, Mr. Williams. Turns out cabin 14 is assigned to this table. May I get you something else to drink while you wait?
Elliot was pleased with the good fortune at selecting the table at which he was supposed to sit, as he desired no other beverage than the water already provided. The remaining waitstaff returned to the kitchen to continue their dinner preparations.
That should be good.
Oh.
And it says right here that working on a beach rescue can be just as taxing as working in an emergency room. See, I told you, there's so much you can teach me.
Yes, I do imagine that rescuing an injured sea creature on the beach would be a very stressful situation. But as I said before, I would really prefer to keep work off the train. I would like to just enjoy my travel in peace. Okay, cabin 6, table 2.
I'm at table 2 with you! Oh, I'm just gonna have the best time on this trip.
At least one of us will.
I truly hope you were not planning to entertain us diners with that instrument. You know, some people actually come to the dining room to actually dine.
You never know an inspirational strike, friend. And some people find that listening to music while dining can be a very enjoyable experience.
That's true. I've been trying to convince my husband that adding tasteful live music in our new restaurant could be a huge draw for patrons. I think it would help set us apart from other restaurants in the area, but he's convinced that live music would detract from the atmosphere.
Is your husband on this train, friend? I would love to talk to him about the benefits of music and eating. And to offer my services, of course.
He's supposed to be meeting me here for dinner. He ran off as soon as we boarded the train to go who knows where. I'm not just going to stand around and wait for him, though. He can meet me at the table. Oh, it was nice to meet you.
Nelson Henry, musical sensation. I will keep my eyes out for your husband, friend. Perhaps we can convince him that music is the key to success.
No! The same train, and now the same table? What does a guy have to do to get a break around here?
Come on, my investigating friend. We're going to have a great time together on this journey. You need to give our friendship a chance.
And why is that exactly?
You never know when you might need a friend. I know a song about that, in fact.
Please don't.
Well, perhaps my writing friend would enjoy a nice dinner tune. I just spoke on how music can enhance the dining experience.
Elliot winced at the prospect of the guitar-wielding man at his dinner table regaling him in song. However, he decided to give in, as arguing would likely only delay the song's inevitable arrival.
Come on, my friends. Why so serious?
I am not your friend. Do you even know what the word serious means? How can you expect to be a successful musician while being so passive?
I think you misunderstand me, my friend. I am very serious when it comes to my music. But where will I get if I am as serious as you, not even willing to make a friend?
I have many friends.
Or take my face out of a notepad. I want to enjoy my journey.
While you may want to enjoy the journey, I want to record the journey. Writers need a great deal of material to create and work from, and recording day-to-day activities helps to provide some of that material.
You know, in some ways, being a private investigator is a lot like that. Like in this bank fraud case I was working. Stop! Like in this bank fraud case I was working on. The scheme was complex. There were a lot of moving players in the game. And if I hadn't been paying attention, I would have never realized that it was the security guard who was walking the bonds out the front door.
Okay, serious friends, no dinner music. Perhaps I can channel some of the serious energy at this table into a serious song. May I borrow a piece of paper, my writing friend?
He's not your friend. None of us are friends.
Our first honeymoon meal, darling. And look, we're at table 1.
And we're in cabin 1. It must be because we boarded the train first.
I think it's because you're my number 1 and I'm your number 1.
Oh my goodness. You two must be on your honeymoon. No one who's been married longer than a week would be acting like the two of you.
We are on our honeymoon, and we've been married for 3 whole weeks and love each other as much as ever.
Are you married?
Yes, I am. Though I seem to be flying solo at the moment. Where on earth is Derek? Dinner is going to be served soon. I'll just have to order for him.
I still don't understand why we couldn't have just left your case in your cabin, Miss Millen. After all, your cabin has a lock on it, and your case has a lock on it too. And you're the only one with a key to that case?
Well, you're probably right. But like I said earlier, this is a big acquisition for us, and we can't have anything go wrong. No case, no acquisition. I'll just slide it under the table where it won't bother anyone while we eat.
Of course, Miss Millen. You're right, as always.
That's a very nice camera you've got there. Are you a professional photographer? I'm sure you could get some lovely shots of the scenery while we travel.
Of sorts, but the only thing I want to photograph is right here on the train with us.
Hey, I recognize you from the train station. Why were you just sitting around if you had a train to catch?
Can you please keep it down? I'm here to photograph Isabella Madison, the movie star. So I need to go sit down before she gets in here and sees me.
A paparazzo, eh? Those people cause all sorts of trouble for good athletes. They should just leave people in peace.
Well, it seems to me that if people don't want the attention in the media, then perhaps they should choose careers that are less high profile.
Another crack at athletes. Just because no one's interested in what you do doesn't make what we do less important.
I believe I said people, in general. You are the one who made it about athletes. You are completely insufferable.
Didn't I see you two arguing earlier? What is going on?
We are just having a bit of a disagreement on academics. I feel that the pursuit of knowledge is the most noble endeavor. Coach here does not.
I never said studying wasn't important.
Yes, you did. At the ticket counter.
No, I said as a sports recruiter, and you started right in about how dumb sports are. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. I went to college on a sports scholarship, To study? I wouldn't have made it into college without a sports scholarship.
And what is your degree? A bachelor's in being loud and obnoxious?
Being both physically and mentally fit is important for people. It's important for marine life, too. I read that some species of marine life actually play games with each other and are smart enough to build tools for themselves. Isn't that neat?
I have to agree with Abby here. As doctors, we frequently tell patients that both physical and mental acuity are both very important. I see a lot of people in the emergency room who could have prevented their injuries by either being in better shape or using their minds to avoid the injury-causing situation in the first place.
See, the good doctor here says people need to use their minds when engaging in physical activity.
Yeah, I'm sure looking up at the stars while you run will really help you avoid injury.
There you go, again! That was not. I did not.
What on earth were you doing in the kitchen?
I'm a chef, aren't I? I was doing market research for our restaurant.
In the kitchen of a train?
You have to be more open-minded, Jennifer. You never know what you can learn from new situations.
This from the man who has shot down every single one of my ideas. See what I mean about marriage? This is what I get to deal with.
Don't listen to her. We're just a little bit on edge right now because of this new restaurant we're opening.
You own a restaurant? That sounds exciting.
Well, we don't own the restaurant. Not yet, anyway. The owner is one of those real estate investment types. He bought the restaurant as a sort of side gig for himself, thinking it'd be a breeze to run. But he found out pretty quickly that running a restaurant is really hard work. So he started looking for some people with decent experience.
The owner is completely letting us design everything, from the paint on the walls to the napkin colors. We're hoping that if this goes well, we might be able to buy the restaurant down the road.
Is it hard going to business with your spouse? I mean, Rachel and I just love spending time with each other, but we go to 2 separate jobs during the day.
Well, it's definitely been a challenge, and we've been arguing a lot lately.
Yeah, you're right. Let's try to enjoy the rest of our trip. One night without any talk of the restaurant. We can pick it up tomorrow.
Sounds good to me. So what sights are you two planning to see on your honeymoon?
Oh, there you are, Isabella. Did you really have to change your outfit again? The one you wore before was just fine for dinner.
A movie star belongs to the public, Lucy. These people might have already seen me today. They expect me to change my outfit.
We need to be seated so dinner can be served. It's already after 7. I checked the chart. We're at table 3.
Lucy? Who are these people sitting at my table?
I don't know, Isabella, the people who are assigned to this table. What's the matter?
You might recall that when we purchased our tickets for this ill-conceived journey, I demanded my own dining table. I will not be forced to interact with these commoners.
Excuse me, Miss Madison, but this temper tantrum is really not necessary. I assure you that Jillian and myself will be perfectly amicable dinner companions.
Really?
This is the second time today that you've treated us like this. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve to be talked down to and told that we're commoners either.
Please, Miss Madison, as you can see, our dining car is full to capacity. We want to accommodate your every request. We cannot simply make more tables appear. Please just sit down so we can serve the meal. Everyone is quite hungry.
Please, Isabella. It's fine. You don't even have to talk to them. Please, just have a seat.
Well, you had all better be prepared to give me everything I request for the remainder of this journey, or else none of you will be employed after this trip. I am Isabella Madison, and I will be treated as such.
I cannot believe how she keeps treating you, Miss Millen. If this were a pharmaceutical conference, you could be making demands like her. She has no idea who she's talking to.
Jillian, please, we cannot always choose who we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. We will be the more mature people in this situation and be better for it. Now let's sit down and try to enjoy the meal.
I don't think we were actually introduced. I'm Lucy Blake, Isabella's assistant. We are very pleased to meet you.
I'm Avery Millen, CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals, and this is my assistant, Jillian Hill.
I've heard of that company. It's an honor to meet the CEO.
Miss Millen is the youngest CEO in company's history and has grown the corporation more during her leadership than the last 3 CEOs combined.
Yes, thank you, Jillian. It's difficult to grow a small company, but much of our current growth is due to all the work that the others before me put in.
Still, those are some impressive accomplishments. Did you study business?
Actually, she studied chemistry. Most of our top pharmaceuticals are based on Miss Millen's own chemical designs.
Again, thank you, Jillian. After the previous CEO retired, the board of directors thought it would be a positive change to have someone making the decisions who actually understood how the products we sell work. I did end up doing some business studies, but Jillian is a big help on the business side of things.
That's really interesting. I studied business management myself and would definitely not know anything about pharmaceuticals. So I can see what the board of directors was thinking. It sounds like that decision is working well for them.
You studied business management? To get bossed around by a demanding movie diva?
Jillian.
No, it's okay. I actually get that question a lot. Isabel and I were friends in high school, and then we went to the same college. When she started getting roles in guest TV appearances and commercials, she asked me to be her assistant because she knows nothing about business. And to be honest, I really needed a job. She didn't start to get like this until that movie of hers really took off. Working with Isabella is great for now, but one day I would like to get into a different line of business.
Is everyone all right? Does anyone need medical attention?
What is the meaning of this? My dinner is completely ruined, and my clothing is soiled.
Our sincere apologies, Miss Madison. There must be a good reason why the train has stopped. We will find out right away.
I'm a private investigator. Maybe I can.
The passengers moved about the dining car frantically, each trying to make sense of the sudden event.
Someone should go check it out!
I don't think that's a good idea, my sports playing friend. We should wait until we hear more about what's going on.
That would be your solution, wouldn't it? Just use brute force. Jump out of the car and head headlong into a potentially dangerous situation.
And if it were up to you, you could just sit here, waiting for information. Take some action.
We have been here for only moments. Some patients would benefit you.
Hey.
You know, they probably have...
Hey! Listen, we went to the front of the train and they said there's been a rock slide on the tracks. They already have people cleaning it up, so we should be on our way in no time.
We greatly apologize for the inconvenience. If you'd all like to return to your rooms, freshen up, then return to the dining car, we can get this all cleaned up and serve the meal again.
I guess that works.
Come on, Isabella, let's go back to your room and change your outfit.
Everywhere. And I'm bleeding too.
Isabella? Seriously, it's not so bad. You brought lots of clothes. Isabella? Isabella?
Miss Madison! Everyone back up. Give us some space. Are you taking pictures? Stop that. You, grab me that napkin. You, give me this pitcher of water. You, give me your coat to use as a blanket. You, call 911. All right, Lauren, I have supplies. How can I help?
There's nothing you can do.
I can too. I can do lots of things.
No.
I can.
Abby. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. What? She's dead.
Landon.
She's not going to be dead.
I can't believe Isabella's dead. It's just awful.
I know. She was so young, and she wasn't even sick or anything.
Wow. Nothing like someone dying to ruin the feel-good mood of a dinner, friends.
Lucy, I'm so sorry about Isabella. I know you said you were friends for a long time.
It's like it's not even real. I just don't know how this could have happened. I was with her all day and she seemed totally fine. Even at dinner, she seemed fine. And then, all of a sudden, she dies? I just don't understand.
Did she hit her head when the train stopped suddenly or choke on what she was eating?
I doubt it. If something like that would have happened, she would have made a big deal about it, and we all would have known.
What is the matter with you all? A young woman drops dead and you make jokes about her?
Lucy, I'm sure no one meant to make a joke. Right, everyone? They just meant that she didn't act like she was choking. She didn't say anything about being hurt.
Well, it's no use. I'm having no use getting a call through to the authorities. There's no service. We're probably getting too far into the mountains now. The train personnel are going to try to get a call through on radio, but in the meantime, they've asked me to take a hold of this investigation. Lauren, did you notice any injuries or clues on the body to how she may have died? You're the medical expert here.
Actually, Abby and I were just discussing that. I didn't notice any injuries of any kind. And when I tried CPR, her airway was clear, which disproves any idea that she may have choked.
Can you determine a cause of death?
It appears her heart just stopped. Fortunately, I have no other way of determining what caused that to happen. Leave her alone.
Lucy, was Isabella taking any kind of medication? Did she have any history of heart disease?
No, she was totally healthy. The last time she saw a doctor was a while ago, but her checkup was fine. If she had any sort of medical condition, I would have known about it. We didn't pick up any medication for this trip. She hated taking any kind of drugs at all.
Do we think it was something she ate? Should we be worried?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Most all of us ate the same food. If it had been something she ate, more than one of us would have been affected. And besides, other than some kinds of fish, I can't think of anything that just makes your heart stop. I mean, you could get food poisoning, and sometimes that can be serious, but it's not instantaneous.
So let me get this straight. Isabella had no history of heart disease of any kind. She didn't get sick from something she ate, and she didn't get hurt when the train stopped suddenly. Her heart just stopped?
Hold on, Owen. Are you saying what I think you're trying to say?
It seems so unlikely. You don't really think that...
Wait! What are you saying?
I'm saying I don't think Isabella's death was an accident. What I'm saying is I believe Isabella Madison was murdered.
No! What? And you can hardly contain his shock and surprise. Murder on the 518?
That's crazy.
Improbable, but not impossible. The passengers began to speculate as they tried to process this sudden revelation.
You really think that someone here would have killed her? All of us were right here together when it happened. Wouldn't we have seen something?
Rachel and I definitely did not plan any murders. Romantic trips don't involve dead bodies in the dining room.
Hang on, my romantic friends. Actually, everyone was not all here together when our movie star friend died.
Nelson is right. Derek and Jennifer ran off to the kitchen right as the train stopped, and Owen followed the waiter out. How can we know what they were doing while they were gone?
Elliot's right. I did leave the room when the train stopped. I went to go figure out why the train had stopped. But I mean, come on, think about it. If I wasn't in the room, when would have I had the opportunity to murder Isabella? And what would have been my motive anyways? Any investigator worth his salt will tell you a crime needs two things: opportunity and motive. And I didn't have either one. The people who were actually in the room had much more of an opportunity.
We went to the kitchen to make sure that the sudden stop didn't cause a fire or injure anyone. We are chefs, you know.
And what motive would we have had? Isabella didn't do anything to us.
Didn't seem too happy with the scene she made earlier in which she declared you a commoner.
Okay, well, neither did you.
Oh.
That seems like motivation for someone like a professor to get pretty upset.
Oh, please. Someone like myself commit murder over something as frivolous as a minor insult? Seems highly unlikely, don't you think? Especially when there are far stronger, more common people present.
Again with the insult. Somehow being athletic makes me a murderer? You heard the doc. Isabella wasn't injured. Are you saying the doc is lying to us all?
Lauren is absolutely not lying. I was right there with her. Isabella wasn't hurt.
Don't you study fish? How could you even know if something was wrong? Besides, the doctor is the one who went from person to person right after the train stopped. She had the most opportunity.
I don't appreciate your insinuation. I'm a healer. A crisis happened and I jumped in to help. While I have no desire to be a part of this absurd debate, I feel the need to point out that both you and your boss represent a pharmaceutical company which would give you both access to potentially life-threatening materials. And not to mention the fact that we all witnessed Isabella treating you both very rudely the whole evening. That's true. Wouldn't that make you both prime suspects in foul play?
Absolutely not. Pharmacists take an oath too, you know. My goal is to never do any harm with my products. I would never use my company's resources to intentionally hurt somebody.
What about Elliot? A good murder would be just the inspiration he needs for a great new story. After all, he's the one who said that real life is the best story material.
I am much too busy recording events to be part of them. And from what I've recorded, it would seem that Lucy is the most likely suspect of any foul play.
What? That's crazy! Isabella was my best friend!
She may have been your best friend at one point, but she clearly treats you very poorly, bossing you around, making unrealistic demands, making you clean up after her messes. And you never leave her side. You had the best opportunity and the best motive.
He's right. Pressure like that can make people do crazy things.
We all saw how badly Isabella treated you, and yet you still say that she was your best friend. What kind of sense does that make?
Okay, everybody hang on. Okay, so we know that Lucy had the opportunity and the motive, but she's not the only one. Lucy's not the only one who follows Isabella everywhere. Lucy's not the only one who relies on Isabella for her whole career. In fact, Lucy's career would be over if Isabella died. But Sydney's career would skyrocket. All the money he'd make from selling the exclusive photos of Isabella's death would take him straight to the top.
People. I didn't kill this woman.
You must admit, Sydney, Owen makes a pretty compelling argument for your
do.
participation. Can you definitely prove that you were not involved?
Okay. I know I got a little bit excited at the word murder. But that doesn't mean I wanted her dead. Sure. I'm gonna profit from this. But would you all get a little bit excited at something you're gonna profit from? I mean, most of you are on your way to Los Angeles for work.
I'm afraid I'm not convinced. I'm gonna need to confiscate your camera.
My camera? No, wait, what?
Well, you say you're innocent, and I want to believe you, innocent until proven guilty, right? So hey, you've been taking pictures this whole evening.
Yeah.
Perhaps you've taken one that could help us solve this thing.
Fine. But I'm going to stay with you while you go through my pictures. I go where my camera goes.
I'd like to join you both while you look. If the cause of Isabella's death is something we all happen to come into contact with, I'd like to find out as soon as possible.
I'll come too. This is a lot like trying to help an injured animal. The animal can't tell you why they're hurt. You just have to sleuth for the answer.
Sure it is.
You really think that Sydney may have a picture with the murderer in it when all of us didn't see anything?
Well, here's the thing. We weren't looking for a murderer when the event actually happened. But now that we can go back to the evening knowing exactly what we're looking for, perhaps your obsession with taking pictures of Isabella might actually end up helping her for once.
Hey, I'm no expert,
But don't you think we should do something with the body? I don't think we should leave it lying in the middle of the dining room until we reach Los Angeles tomorrow. I see your point. However, if her death was due to foul play, I'd hate to disturb the crime scene. But we can't just leave it here.
No!
Can we all just stop calling Isabella's body it?
Lucy, maybe you
My
should go back
fault.
to your room and get some rest.
Hang on there, business lady friend. If there really is a dangerous person among us, is it really smart for us all to separate from each other?
I have to agree with Nelson, especially since we do not yet know who the dangerous person is.
Well, you know what? I think this is all ridiculous. All I want is to get to Los Angeles and have a nice honeymoon. I have a hard time believing that anyone here would have murdered anyone else.
I mean,
It's true, I guess.
Lucy, why don't you stay with us?
Are you sure? I don't want to stay alone, but I really don't want to intrude on your honeymoon either.
We would love to have you join us, Lucy. Rachel is right. We don't even know that a murder took place. Everybody needs to stop jumping to conclusions. Somebody died, and that is awful. Do we really have to make it any more awful?
Okay, but then what are we supposed to do? Because something has to happen. The body.
all right, listen here, you pansies. Right now, we need a plan. First, Isabella's body. Who has an idea?
Actually, I do. When Jen and I were in the kitchen earlier, we commented that this train has a really large refrigerator. I assume that it must be designed for trips much longer than just overnight. And I think that we could use it for this. As long as everyone is okay with dry cereal for breakfast tomorrow.
All right, Derek, you and Jennifer handle that. As for the rest of us, have any of you had any luck getting through to the police yet? I'll take that as a no. Elliot, you and Nelson go to the front of the train and find the conductor, engineer, or somebody and figure out if they successfully radioed for help.
Elliot leapt into action, eager to gain more information for the benefit of the situation.
Come on, my writing friend. Maybe you shouldn't write while you walk.
As for the rest of us, we're going to sit here to do anything until they get back. Except for you people, if you want to look through pictures, knock yourselves out.
Owen, aren't you the investigator? Shouldn't you be the one giving orders?
Well, you know, private investigators usually work behind the scenes. Once I get started on a case, I tend to forget about the other things going on around me. Sydney, let's get started looking at those pictures. You've certainly captured the whole evening on that thing.
Well, it appears like someone likes to hear himself talk.
Oh, shut it! I didn't see you stepping up to take any action. Seems like something a smart person would do.
Being able to bark out order does not automatically qualify you as being intelligent. But you did get people moving in the right direction, so I'll give you that.
Speaking of moving in the right direction, it looks like we're moving again.
Good news, everyone. We helped the kitchen staff clear space in the cooler for Isabella's body. They're actually cooking most of the food now for our replacement dinner.
Alrighty, here's the story, traveling friends. Our train operating friends have been in contact with the authorities. We're basically in the middle of nowhere right now. They want us to continue on to our destination of Los Angeles, where we'll meet with the authorities when we arrive. We'll probably have to put off our arrival plans until we speak to our police friends.
Miss Millen, what if we miss your meeting? Isn't that the whole point of us even being here?
I'm sure they'll understand if we have to reschedule given the circumstances.
This whole thing is just insane. I'm going to try and contact them and figure this whole thing out. Maybe I'll get some cell reception now that the train is moving again.
Guys, come help us move Isabella's body into the cooler. Lauren, come see if you think this will work for the rest of the trip.
Oh, I'll come too. Of course you will. Would you quit?
Okay, you grab her arm. I'll grab
Are you seriously still taking pictures? What is wrong with you? She's dead.
You bet I'm still taking pictures. Isabella might be dead, but she's still gonna make me rich.
Sydney, seriously, that's super inappropriate. And claiming you're gonna capitalize on her murder does not make you sound any less guilty. And besides, the police are gonna confiscate your camera when we get to Los Angeles. It's evidence.
It's private property, so they're gonna have to return it eventually. Besides, I'll still be the only one with these pictures.
Whoops.
Excuse me, everyone, but the kitchen staff is ready to serve the meal. If you would all please vacate the dining area, we'll have the mess cleaned up momentarily.
Sorry. I'm not so sure that's such a good idea. I mean, if Isabella's death was due to foul play, the dining room may contain clues that could maybe help us solve this thing. Could we serve dinner somewhere else?
The lounge car is available. Oh, it may not be enough table space, but as long as some people don't mind standing, it should be a fine place to serve.
Perfect.
Elliot was surprised at the physical strength required for the task of moving a body. Despite the assistance of many, he required immediate sustenance.
I think what Elliot means to say is that it was a lot harder than I was expecting. Jen, could you pass me my water, please?
It looks like everything will be fine in the kitchen. It's a good thing this is a short trip. Definitely not a long-term storage solution.
Everyone, please. We know you're probably all hungry. If you could all just follow us, we can show you to the lounge car and serve you dinner.
Sounds good to me.
I think I'm just gonna eat in my room. I've had enough excitement for one night.
That sounds good to me, too. Rachel, let's go eat with Lucy.
Actually, a room dinner in my room actually does sound appealing. Could we just make our plates and take them elsewhere?
Sounds good to me. What does our investigator think? I mean, I suppose folks could eat in the room. It's not like anyone's going anywhere.
Of course, no problem at all. Anyone wishing to dine in their quarters can collect their plates in the lounge and take them back to their rooms.
You want to eat together, Lauren?
Excuse me.
Why
sorry.
would I want that?
Excuse me.
Okay, but then
Excuse me.
we're in the same room, so it doesn't matter.
Excuse me.
I need a little drink. Why? Can we just go?
Sir?
I think they're just gonna.
Did you not hear us? We'll be serving dinner elsewhere.
I'm just gonna leave my book.
Sir?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Can you hear me? Sir? Sir?
Sydney! Sydney, can you hear me?
Stop, Abby.
Other one.
It's no use. His heart stopped. He's dead.
Bingo. Guys, we cannot deny it anymore. We can say one death is a coincidence, but two deaths? There is a murderer on this train. And we don't know who, and we don't know how, and we don't know why. But if we don't figure this thing out soon, there could be more of us dead before we get to Los Angeles.
Eaten by the group. Wait, do you want this? Do you want this on the table?
Grayson, where is Grayson?
You're crazy. Bingo.
Grayson! Grayson! You're doing plenty of creative liberties considering this is only our second performance, dude.
Elliot, what are you doing?
Writing, of course.
No, you're not. You're staring at me.
Your expression is most captivating. You look despondent. Elliot sat across the table from the despondent young woman. She sat in silence, quietly clinging to the small trinket in her hand. Elliot wondered at the significance of the small gold piece.
Isabella gave it to me. I didn't even realize I was playing with it.
The young woman was clearly deeply affected by the sudden death of her close friend and employer.
Isabella wasn't just a close friend. She was my best friend. I don't know if I'm angry or sad or frightened or what I'm feeling.
Despondent.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really don't understand. Oh, hey, Jillian. I didn't even see you come in. What do you mean?
How can you say that Isabella was your best friend? She didn't seem to care about you at all.
Or anyone for that matter. It's hard to explain. I think sometimes success can do things to people. Isabella never cared about being famous. She just wanted to act. She was always the happiest when she was playing a part.
Are you saying that she was pretending to be mean?
Isabella's agent was always saying that no one paid attention to nice movie stars, and that if she wanted to be noticed, she'd have to make a scene wherever she went. And I know it always seemed like Isabella was so mean to me, but I know that really wasn't her. That crazy Isabella you guys all saw, that was just how she acted in public. Playing another part, I guess.
But didn't it bother you that she always had to make herself the center of attention? Didn't you feel like you deserved some of the credit?
No, I never wanted that. I like working behind the scenes. That's why we work so well together. Why we spent all of our time together for so long. See this necklace? Isabella bought us matching ones before this trip. She said it's because we do all of this together.
I really had no idea.
It's okay. Most people don't. Isabella built her whole career on being this stereotypical, crazy movie star. I had always thought she could have made it just being herself. And maybe if she wasn't so awful to everyone, she would still be here. Anyway, you seem to spend a lot of time with Avery. You must see multiple sides of her personality, right?
I guess a little, but she's pretty much the same person all of the time. I like things to be straightforward, you know? Hey, it's been a long day. You should really go eat something. I think they're still serving dinner in the lounge car.
Thanks for listening. Most people just keep trying to interrogate me because they think that I killed my best friend and that crazy photographer who was chasing her. You're right. It has been a long day. I think I'll just skip dinner and go to bed. Good night.
Rachel, what's the matter?
Sweetheart, what's wrong? Why did you run out of the lounge crying?
This isn't how our honeymoon is supposed to go. I wanted it to be perfect.
I wanted it to be perfect too.
Now, when we get to Los Angeles, we're going to have to spend our time in a police station being accused of murder instead of sightseeing and celebrating our wedding. We didn't do anything wrong.
I know. All I want to do is spend time with you too. But we're all suspects in the case and we have to let the police do their job.
Circumstances got you down, honeymoon friends?
Yes, this honeymoon is turning out to be a disaster.
Come on now, it's not all that bad.
Are you serious? 2 people have been murdered.
Well, it wasn't either of you who got murdered, right? And maybe you'll have to change your travel plans a little bit when you get there, but you'll be spending your romantic time together soon enough. And think of the story you'll have to tell your friends when you get back.
Nelson has the right idea, guys. This'll all be over before we know it. At least for us, who didn't know either of the victims.
I suppose you're right. I think we're losing sight of why we're on this trip in the first place.
Thanks, Nelson. This whole thing is just making me a little crazy, I think.
Yeah. Nelson, how is it that you keep so calm and positive? Aren't your plans for Los Angeles going to be ruined too? Didn't you have a meeting about your music?
Well, truth be told, friends, I don't have a meeting. I sent out lots of copies of my songs to different record labels, but none of them responded to me. I just decided to go to Los Angeles and try to make it on my own. And if I don't have the positivity to do that, I'll have the courage to make it.
Wow, Nelson, I don't think I could just dive into something like that. I bet someone will decide to give you a chance.
Yeah, you are so determined. I bet your music's great. Why don't you share some of it with us?
I would love to. I've been making some new songs during this eventful journey of ours. I think I left my notes on my table in all the confusion. Come take a look.
Hello, all. Jillian, there you are. Have you seen Owen? I really need to speak with him.
Sorry, business lady friend. We haven't seen him. Anything we can do for you?
Yeah, you don't look so good. Is everything okay?
I'm fine. I just lost something. I'll look over here and see if I can find it. What are all of you doing?
Nelson was just about to play some of his music for us.
You're sitting around playing music at a table where someone was just murdered? Aren't you at all bothered by what's going on?
What's the matter, Miss Millen? Is something missing? Can I help?
No, I'm fine. Just if you see Owen, send him my way.
Of course, Miss Millen.
Would you stop it? You can't just come barreling out and disturb all the evidence. Well, never mind. Clearly, no one seems to care that 2 people died in this location and that nothing should be disturbed until it's processed by the authorities. Where is that private investigator anyway? Shouldn't he be handling this?
I just left my wallet at the dinner table. I don't think that getting my wallet will disturb the evidence, do you? Why'd you follow me here anyway? Don't trust me? Think I have something to hide?
Well, people eager to remove things from crime scenes do seem somewhat suspicious. And you must know, I brought my reading glasses with me to dinner and left them on the table during all the confusion.
So it's not okay for me to come and get my wallet, yet it's perfectly fine for you to come and get your glasses? Why is that? Seems pretty suspicious to me.
Because I won't come through barreling and disturb everything in sight.
I don't barrel
Would you
anywhere.
just Would you two stop it? You've been at each other's throats all evening. We have much larger problems to deal with than whatever it is you're arguing about.
Really? You two should take a page out of Nelson's book.
That isn't exactly
So
what
and get some positivity.
If we could all just focus on the
Come on,
problem at
guys.
hand.
Let's go be calm and positive elsewhere.
For the last time, get out of my kitchen!
We yourselves not murdered!
We had nothing to do with these deaths!
I'm not accusing you of murder. I'm worried about the safety of the passengers. We have to get to the bottom of this.
And it is very safe for the other passengers that we store bodies in my cooler?
I didn't say that.
We emptied out the coolers before we put the bodies in there. It's no danger to the passengers anymore.
Sacre bleu!
Is it something
Oh, hey, Jillian, what's up? Did you come to help us sleuth for clues?
No, actually, I lost my cell phone during all the commotion with Sydney. Did you put his body in the cooler too?
Unfortunately, they did!
It is completely unacceptable!
Guys, what on earth?
Hey, cut
Something
it
had
out.
to be done with the bodies. It could just stay
Look,
there.
here come 2 more people to invade my kitchen.
We're not here to invade your kitchen. Actually, we were just coming to tell you how much we enjoyed the dinner we just had.
What are all of you doing in here? We were just sleuthing for clues in the kitchen.
Sort of. I'm convinced these deaths have something to do with something the victims ate.
Oh, and I really
We
need to
already
speak to you
told
about...
you there are virtually no foods that would cause something like this to happen. You searched the kitchen. Did you find any dangerous food?
Well, no.
Take it from the people who work in a kitchen every day. When you serve something like this, an event where everyone eats the same food and all the dishes are the same, you have no idea which plate is going to end up at which table.
And do you really think the kitchen staff randomly decided to put dangerous food on just 2 plates? I mean, even if they did.
Hey!
I'm not saying that you did. But really, what are the chances that those 2 plates would end up in front of the intended people? Seems way too coincidental for me.
But what about the wait staff, though? They were in the dining room with us the whole time the meal was being served. Plenty of time to see where each person was sitting.
We've been in and out of the kitchen a dozen times by now. The trays get handed right to the waitstaff, and they walk right out the door. When would they have the opportunity to sabotage the food?
Weren't Isabella and Sydney at different tables? Did 2 separate waiters decide to commit murder?
I see what you're saying. Fine. The food theory doesn't quite add up.
If you are quite satisfied, we will be returning to the kitchen without all of you. So,
Something's missing.
Don't know.
Something's missing. Something is missing. What's missing?
Oh, and I really need to speak to you about...
I know what's missing.
What?
What are you talking about?
Owen said something's missing. I know what it is.
Oh, you do?
Don't need to sound so surprised.
I didn't mean it like that.
Okay, Mike. What's missing?
Seems to me like you're getting too caught up on figuring out the how instead of figuring out the why. People died. We got that. It happened in the dining room. We got that too. And now you spent the entire night chasing around a food theory that hasn't gotten you anywhere.
I mean, it did so...
You can only try to make a layup so many times without a score before you have to switch plays and go for an outside three-point shot. So just back it up, reassess, and take another approach to the problem.
Elliot!
You think it was Elliot who killed them?
No, Elliot can tell us what's missing.
I don't follow you.
You know how he's always writing down everything that he sees? He was taking notes the entire time we were at dinner. I mean, look, he's taking notes right now. I bet he can tell us what we were all doing.
Abby, that's a great idea.
Hey, I bet if you pair Sydney's photos with Elliot's notes, you could paint a picture of practically everything that's been going on in the room all night. Where is Sydney's camera anyway?
I remember seeing it over here somewhere when you guys moved the body. Guys, the camera isn't here.
What? Well, where did it go? I mean, so many people have been in and out of here all night. Anyone could have picked it up and no one would be the wiser.
Maybe Elliot can tell us that too. What do you say, Elliot?
Elliot was displeased to have his writing disturbed. However, he recognized the importance his notes could have in solving the mysterious murders that occurred, especially in light of the disappearance of the photographer's camera, which created a large gap in the quest for visual evidence.
Huh?
I believe that was a yes.
Jen, let's go see if we can find that.
No! All of us are staying right here until we figure this thing out.
But...
Okay, I know not everyone is here, but think about it. Mike was onto something before. Okay, so all of us in this room have been trying like crazy to figure this thing out. Either all of us are the best actors ever, or we are the ones who genuinely don't have anything to hide. Either way, why don't we go through those notes and maybe focus on the people who haven't been trying to solve this thing?
Yes, that works for me. Okay, Elliot.
I really need to speak to you privately now.
What's up, Avery?
Oh, boy.
You don't look so good.
Avery, I don't mean to intrude, but if you're feeling at all sick, we should really get you
No,
looked at.
I'm fine. Actually, Lauren, it's good that you're here too. So, both of you know that I work for a pharmaceutical company and that I'm on my way to Los Angeles with samples for a presentation, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when the train stopped earlier, when we had that rock slide, I opened up my case to check on everything. And everything was fine, but when I got back to my cabin after dinner, I decided to check on them again. One of the vials was missing.
What? Avery, this isn't good. What does it contain?
Well, that's the worrisome part. It's a new medication my company is developing to help patients who are at risk for heart failure. It hasn't been widely tested.
So you're telling me that we are missing a vial of untested heart medication on a train where 2 people have been found dead due to heart failure?
Oh my goodness!
What is it?
Avery's missing a vial of medicine that causes heart failure!
Are you serious? When were you going to share that piece of information with the rest of us?
This new development is most exciting.
Owen, your whole let's focus on the other people theory is crazy. This woman clearly had the means to commit these murders, and she had the opportunity. We should have kept the focus on her the whole time. Plus, she was right at the same table as Isabella, who was rude to her.
Do you actually think she would have brought this to our attention if she was the one who committed the crime?
Maybe that's her plan, to make us think that she's innocent.
But Derek, from what I'm reading here, Avery was nowhere near Sydney at any point in the evening. And I believe it's a bit far-fetched to say there are 2 separate murders on this train.
Derek, come back.
Let's just give those 2 a moment. Avery, why don't you tell us a little bit more about this medication? I think it's safe to assume this is the best lead to a cause of death we've had all evening.
Well, like I said before, its primary purpose is to help patients who are at risk for heart failure by helping to regulate heart function. For a patient who is sick, too little would be ineffective, but too much could be very dangerous.
So, what would happen if someone without a heart problem took it?
Well, it's safe to assume that the same would apply to a healthy person. A small dose would likely go unnoticed, but a large amount could cause some massive heart problems.
Well, what characteristics does the medication itself have? Would people even realize if they were taking it, or could it be hidden somehow?
Well, that's actually where my company is focusing our research. All of the samples I'm taking with me are in liquid form with no added color or flavor. We're developing a new line of medication to help patients who have difficulty swallowing traditional medicine.
That's a great idea. And I bet it would be useful for animals, too.
Focus.
Okay, so if you claim it wasn't you, who else had access to your case?
Well, that's the thing. The case has never left my possession, and it only has 1 key, which I still have right here. The only 2 times that the case has been opened were just after the rock slide and right now in my room.
Sorry about before, everyone. I'm a little bit on edge right now. I thought we could all use some water. Anyone?
Oh, sure. Thanks, guys.
Elliot was parched from excitement and welcomed some refreshment.
Sounds good to me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
No, don't drink that!
What? Why? What's the matter?
The water glasses. That has to be what happened.
If the medication is a liquid, it could be easily added to a beverage.
And since they're designed to have very little color or taste, no one would even know that they were drinking them.
Elliot took amazing notes, and right before both deaths occurred, many of us were drinking water.
Well, what about when Sydney died? I don't remember drinking anything then.
It's not quite as certain. But remember, right before Sydney died, those who had helped move Isabella's body out, they came back into the dining room and they had some water.
Well, good catch. Now we just need to figure out who got a hold of the medicine and close enough to both people to put in their water.
And we still need to find Sydney's camera, too.
I'm positive that this notebook will continue to be a valuable resource. If we continue to look through it, I'm confident that we'll be able to figure out who had the opportunity.
We might not need the notebook.
I think you're right.
Attention passengers, we will be arriving in Los Angeles in approximately 10 minutes. Please be prepared to leave all belongings on board when exiting until the authorities have had the opportunity to survey the scene and speak to everyone individually. Thank you.
Do you both have an idea of what's going on?
Yeah, tell us.
All right, folks. We have 10 minutes till we get to Los Angeles. Let's get that notebook and let's get to work. Now that we know exactly what we're looking for, I believe we have the opportunity to catch the murderer by surprise when we get to Los Angeles if we all work together.
All right.
Are you all in? Go team!
Team.
Whoa.
Just arrived, West Coast 518 from Salt Lake City has just arrived on platform 4. Just arrived, West Coast 518.
All right, folks, back it up. Give us some space. We're conducting an investigation here. This platform is closed. Back it up.
All right, folks, if you please just follow me, head right over there. We can begin taking your individual statements as soon as possible. Now, folks, please remember that all personal belongings stay on the train. Thank you. Sir, your guitar. Ma'am, your book. You with the case. Please, folks, all belongings stay on the train.
While wanting to follow the officer's wishes, Elliot was dismayed at the prospect of being separated from his writing supplies during what was promised to be a very exciting series of events. He also failed to comprehend how a guitar or a marine studies book could pertain to the information of the particular investigation.
What?
He doesn't like being separated from his notebook. I can put my book back on the train, though. Nelson, would you like me to take your guitar?
No, that's fine.
Avery, I could take your case for you.
That won't be necessary, Abby. I'll be handing my case straight to the police.
You're handing all of your supplies over to the police? Don't you think you should just keep them with you?
Nonsense. You heard the officers. Everything left on the train is evidence. I wouldn't want to stop their investigation by leaving them a case full of dangerous chemicals and no way to open them. Here are the samples, and here is the key to the case.
Greetings, officers. My name's Owen Casey. I'm a private investigator. I wanted to deliver this silver case to you guys directly, along with this bag of evidence. Inside this bag, you'll find the notebook, which belongs to our resident writer Elliot Williams. The contents, I think, you'll find very helpful in reassembling the events of this evening. This bag also contains the camera, which belonged to Sidney Bennett, the deceased paparazzo, who was constantly taking pictures until he died. You found the camera?
That's awesome. Where was it?
I didn't even know our photographer friend's camera was missing.
She didn't.
Wow, that's a stroke of luck for us. The poor guy might actually help solve his own murder.
You say this camera was missing. Where'd you find it?
Actually, his camera was never missing. The camera I brought along to record the rest of my upcoming lecture looked very much like Sydney's. My camera is still missing. His has been under his dinner table the whole time.
I took the opportunity to go through all of the photos, and Sydney took one clear as day of Isabella's murderer poisoning her water glass.
Oh my goodness, he did. Wait! Poison? But who?
Why didn't he say anything?
Do you think he was trying to make more money?
I knew it wasn't the food.
You see, after Isabella died, it didn't take us long to figure out that her death was no accident. I mean, everyone else was fine. At first, we thought she may have been hurt when the train had crashed, but our doctor here confirmed that wasn't the case.
That's true. I checked on everyone right as the train stopped, and no one was injured.
Who was it? Who poisoned Isabella?
At first, we all assumed Sidney did. I mean, after all, he had the most to gain from selling the pictures of Isabella. Of course, he denied it. But he said we could look through his camera to find any helpful pictures.
And he's the other person who is deceased?
Indeed.
That's when we realized we had to start looking for other potential suspects. After Sidney died, we realized it couldn't be him.
Avery, you weren't even with the people who went to look for who killed Isabella and Sidney. Derek, Lauren, Abby, and Jennifer all went with Owen to look for clues. How are you the one who figured it out?
Well, I realized I was carrying around a case full of potential danger. After the rock slide, I opened it up to check on it, and all seemed to be well, but when I got back to my cabin, I checked on him again, and one of the vials was missing.
You're missing the dangerous medicine? We have to find it. All of you could be in danger.
Your medicine poisoned Isabella? It was you! It must have been you! No one else had access to your case. Plus, you were sitting by Isabella at dinner, and you just admitted in front of everyone that you opened the case right before she died. I can't believe you tried to make me feel better after you killed her!
Lucy, listen. I thought the same thing at first, as well. But after going back through Elliot's notes, we realized, well, Avery was nowhere near Sidney at any point in the evening. She couldn't have killed him, and she didn't kill Isabella.
But there was one other person at the table with you and Isabella. One other person who had access to the open case of pharmaceuticals. And only one other person who was near both Isabella and Sidney right before their deaths.
Jillian!
Going somewhere?
Gotta be quicker than that to surprise me.
Fine. You figured it out. It was me. Oh, I don't believe this. Jillian, how could you?
Lucy, I never meant to kill her. Honest, I didn't.
But you did kill her. And why, Sidney? Why?
Yeah. I was so angry at the way that Isabella was treating us at the train station when we were buying our tickets. And again at dinner. She was so rude to us. What did she think gave her the right to talk down to us? To all of us! Fame doesn't give people the right to act that way.
You killed her because you were offended at her insults.
No! All I wanted to do was embarrass her. When I realized that Sidney was on board and was taking pictures to sell, I thought, what would bring her down a notch? She was so worried about looking her best and being better than everyone else that I thought a bunch of pictures of her getting sick all over the train right before her big Hollywood premiere would be the perfect thing to ruin her perfect Hollywood image.
So, you poisoned her to make her sick?
When Avery opened the case right after the train stopped, I grabbed the vial that was closest to me right before we closed the case again. During all the commotion, I poured some of the vial in Isabella's water glass. That way she would get sick all over the train and Sidney would sell all of her embarrassing pictures. But I never meant for her to die! I never didn't know what I put in her water would kill her!
Jillian, I don't believe this. How many times have I told you that we work with dangerous chemicals? What were you even thinking?
Hold on, though. Why kill Sidney? He was just going to sell the pictures of Isabella's death, just like you wanted.
When Sidney was saying how he was going to sell all of Isabella's pictures, I knew. It didn't matter what happened to Isabella. She was still going to be famous. And Sidney was going to get rich off of her fame.
So you killed him?
When Owen and Sidney were saying how they were going to go through all of the pictures to find a picture of the murderer, I knew I had to get the camera. He never stopped taking pictures. I knew he had to have a picture of me poisoning Isabella's water. And I knew I'd never get it from him willingly. So I still had the vial in my pocket. So when I saw my opportunity, I put the rest of it in his water.
You knew it was going to kill him, and you still did it.
And for nothing! I went back as soon as I could to get the camera, but I find out I have somebody else's camera? I didn't see anybody
anybody else with a camera. That's because no one else had one.
I was wondering why you kept calling this empty water glass a camera. I'm glad I just went along with it.
After Avery and I reasoned that that Jillian was the only other person who had access to the open case of pharmaceuticals, we figured she must be the murderer. Holly went back through Elliot's notes, and we figured out she also must still have the camera. However, we knew she'd never give it up unless we tricked her into it.
I decided that if we pretend to have Sydney's camera, it might make Jillian nervous enough to confess. And I was right. So I did have the camera all along?
Yep.
And you didn't have a picture of me poisoning everyone?
Of course. And since you just confessed in front of all of us, it doesn't really matter if you have a picture or not.
You're under arrest. Let's go.
No, please, it was an accident, please.
All right, folks. We still have to go down to the station to get your individual statements. But now that we do have a murder weapon and a confession, we should be able to get you on your way pretty quickly. If you'd all please follow me, we have cars ready to take you down to the station.
Nice work, everyone. Abby, brilliant idea with that camera bluff.
Abby, I know I said I didn't want to work on this trip, but obviously this trip out of their plans. And you were a great asset throughout all the chaos, and you're very bright, and I'm sure you'll make a superb vet tech.
That means so much to me. You've taught me so much about how to keep my cool under pressure, and during an animal emergency...
No, it's fine. We really don't need to talk about this.
Well, I hate to admit it, but you had some fairly effective insights throughout this investigation. Perhaps I underestimated you.
That'll teach you to judge a book by its cover. Eh, Professor?
I never did catch what your college degree was in, Mike.
Criminal justice.
Well, this was all very surprising.
I'd say, what a start to our honeymoon.
Jennifer, you and Derek worked so well together to help solve this crazy case.
Suppose we did. You know, we work a lot better together when we aren't arguing all the time.
You're right, Jen. We need to find a way to keep ourselves on track, listening to one another, and working together on the restaurant instead of against each other.
Well, if I may, my cooking friends, I know a very fabulous musician who is very good at keeping people calm and relaxed.
Okay, Nelson, come on. Let's talk terms in the car.
Hey, Lucy.
Hi, Avery.
You coming?
Yes. I just can't believe this. I'm so sorry. I thought you were a murderer.
Well, to be honest, I feel somewhat responsible. I should have taken better care about who I trusted to be my secretary and to handle all my samples.
You couldn't have known what she would do? I don't think any of us could have guessed it. I know I didn't.
Well, this might not be the best time, but I find myself in need of an assistant, someone with a good mind for business, good organizational skills, someone who's good at following direction, someone who may be in need of a job.
Me? You want me to be your assistant?
I know you'll have a lot on your plate the next few weeks, handling all of Isabella's affairs, but when you're done, call me. Salt Lake City is a great place to live.
I will. Elliot, come on.
Elliot realized that he was the last train passenger remaining on the platform. Before joining the others, he began to reflect on the bizarre series of events that befell him and his fellow passengers aboard the West Coast 518. It was unlikely that any of their lives would truly be the same. Friendships torn apart, new relationships forged, old relationships made stronger, and new opportunities presented. What an amazing story this would make.